Hey everybody, welcome to the energy read for this beginning first week of June. Can't believe it's June. Here we go. We're almost halfway through this year already. Um, and just wow, like the amount of change that is happening it's kind of funny. I was saying to someone the other day is that it's almost unbelievable. Like I'm having a hard time comprehending everything that's going on, only in the sense that it's like we all knew the truth of everything. We all knew this great reveal was coming. And now that it's here, it's almost like we're standing here in disbelief going, like it's kind of cathartic in a way because it's one of those things where we're finally having things confirmed for us. Before we were listening to all this, how the universe works, how planet Earth works, what has been going on, what's our true history, what has gone on in the last like 4 years, 10 years, you know, all of these things. Anyway, it is an exciting time to be alive, I think so. But it definitely, if you're like me, it's a lot. We're being bombarded with a lot. Um, I want to send a special message out to those people that are just kind of newly waking up and tuning in and that kind of stuff. And just to let you know, like it is overwhelming, but it's all for the greater good. So just keep taking deep breaths, reassuring yourself that you came here to do this. Um, the universe, spirit, everything has our back. Um, we just gotta, you know, we gotta muscle through this, and we're quite capable of doing it. So anyway, that's sort of a really quick gloss over. Um, so I'm going to just read the energy for this week. The nice thing about this week is there's like lots of combined events. So instead of putting a whole bunch of videos out, like four, I'm going to combine today's reading with the Parade of Planets, which is happening today. And we'll talk about that before we do the read. And then the new moon is on Thursday, which is also the sixth portal. So we'll read those two at the same time. So there will be a second video coming out for the moon this week. Um, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but yeah, we're just in a period of these major shifts. So this parade of planets is a lineup of Jupiter, Mercury, Uranus, Mars, Neptune, Saturn. So um, this happens every time this year. Uh, Again, the difference is that where we are in like where they'll sit in the astrological chart. They all have their own quality that they bring, which we'll get into in a second here. It's interesting though, because I did see a scientific piece, that they really consider this alignment of planets also because they all have their own magnetic fields. Um, when they're that close in alignment, that they do have an influence on the sun. So I would completely expect that we'll see um, probably some more X flares. Uh, when these planets have been in alignment before, Earth usually gets a lot of activity in terms of earthquakes, lots of lightning, so that kind of thing. So lots of storms coming in. The storm is upon us. So yeah, today just will be. It's about um, just keeping your wits about you because the major uh, you know, there's going to be some shifting. It is a major shift anytime this alignment happens. We see really big things come about. So on the cosmic side or the astrological side, um, this we're looking at increase in optimism, clear communication. So let's just go through by the planets. Jupiter, expansion and abundance. Mercury, intellect and communication. Sometimes communication slash truth. Lots of truth coming out lately. Uranus is abrupt changes, plot twists, quick change. So that's definitely happening right now. Mars, increased energy and courage. So again, it's like we balance out all this quick shifting and that kind of stuff with a little bit of like, you're okay, we got your back. And then we've got Neptune, which is dreams and spirituality. So um, we'll get into, like, we've talked about the crazy dreams last week. That is completely going to continue this week. And then we have Saturn that offers us like discipline and structure. Again, so we have these like they're in alignment and they're sort of opposed in what they do, but they're also balancing to each other. So increased optimism, clearer communication, increased motivation. There can be surprise and sudden breakthroughs. The big ones I'm seeing is crazy epiphanies, wild dreams. The word synchronicity came up at least 2 or 3 times. So can't make this bleep up. Synchronicities, be watching for them. It's synchronicities too are also like, and deja vus are all like communications from spirit that you're on the right path. And that's also the sign that they're helping you out, right? And pointing you in the right direction. So synchronicities can come to you in all kinds of ways: nature, music, like just, thinking about someone and they call you, or, desiring an opportunity for change and, you get headhunted for a job or whatever the case is. The big thing is about making a wish, keeping the manifestation process going. So make sure you're really, really working on that. A couple of the other things too that can come up is out of body experiences. So, um, again, us tapping in more to our intuition and the astral plane. Another big one is spiritual awakening. So this may, when we say spiritual awakening, there isn't just one, right? If you've been in this process, you know that it happens in increments. And sometimes they're like massive awakenings where you're like, whoa. And sometimes they're just little epiphanies and you're like, okay, that makes sense. So watch for that happening within you too. Like the potential is there. Spiritual awakenings, though, I think it's going to be, this is on a collective level that we're hitting this major shift. And there's going to be lots of spiritual awakenings on the planet. It's already started happening this weekend. Just everything that's going on in the world is just making people blink their eyes open because as soon as they get a little bit of the truth about what's going on, everyone's like, well, what? There's a lot of WTF going on in this world right now. It's kind of amusing, but it's even I've had moments of like, holy, are you kidding me? Anyway, so it's good, but it's all for the greater good. Remember, we got to burn this mother down and then scrap that old foundation because it's cracked and broken and crap. And we have to start from ground level, ground base zero, start from there and change it. The other thing that's going on today is Venus and the Sun are, oh, I don't want to say they're conjunct. That's not the right word, is it? Yeah, they're together. Anyway, the big thing about that is when all that other stuff is going on, all those epiphanies, it is like, it's about tuning into the heart and listening to the intuition, the advice, the wisdom that comes from your heart. So when all of that stuff, if you're getting bombarded by synchronicities and you're just like, I don't even know how to interpret this, or dreams, like we talked about last week, take 5 minutes, take a few deep breaths, connect with your guides, whether you're like in direct connection with them or not, but just ask them, just say, I'm seeking some answers. Make sure you've done any like protections because, well, there are still lower energies trying to be little ashers, little assies. They are. They're. I'm watching them take out a few people. Lots of psychic attacks and things, and not to scare you. It's just like, but just be like when you head into those moments to be like really clear and concise. Just make sure you've got protective energy around you. You can do that like white light, a bubble, doesn't matter. Just just letting know the lower energy that it's not welcome there, and ask it to leave before you start doing your questioning. And then question the heart. Dive right into heart chakra, heart energy. What is it saying to you? And listen for the answer, because that's going to be our biggest tool, I think. Just because that alignment is happening with Venus and the Sun, make sure like you're listening to your heart, and what it says, and trusting the information you get from it and the intuition, rather than your monkey brain, because it's probably full of so much crap going on right now that it's a little confusing. Anyway, let's see what the cards say for the week. And then, like I said, I'll put a moon video together for Thursday, which will include the sort of June energy read as well. So that video might actually end up being long, but oh well. Oh well. I find sometimes like I almost wanted to do this in 4, because I like this. I like coming on here and reading cards and seeing what spirit has to say to us. But it's also the realities of life still. I have a job to do, so I figured that would be too much. So we'll combine as much as we can. If they're long videos, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for sticking with them. Okay, it's another week of the Strength card. First up, again, I'll read the card, but for me, this is always just like the light coming through the trees. Actually, I saw a post recently that, for those of you who follow different things, basically, I'm just going to say this, and then, like, if you know, you know, and I'm not doing it to be rude, but we can't get into certain, like, talks like that still on YouTube. So, we've activated dark to light. We are starting the process of lighting up the dark and going from dark to light. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I wisely use my life force energy to create and direct my good work in the world. This is the calling for all of us, right? It's like it's time. It is time for the light to come in, for us to be the light. It's time for us to start shining that light and do our good work in the world. Up until now, we haven't, we've been constricted or restricted on this. That veil is definitely being pulled off, or I think it's pretty much gone. We're just like seeing the cleanup part of it. So we have to start using our life force energy, which we came here to do, our powers of manifestation, to start creating. Again, going back to like, when you have that crazy epiphany coming in and you're like, oh, I could do it this way. Instead of just be like that epiphany, is then start the action process of how do I start putting that out into the world, right? The more light we all start generating out into the world at this point is going to be the key, right? We're not like going to hold back anymore. We're not taking no for an answer from anything. It's like we came here to change this planet. We were previously restricted, but now we're going to we're going to change it. So that's why we came. All right, let's see the overall for, again. And the other thing too is I've done a couple card reads this week for people. And this stuff is also coming up in those reads. So that's how I know also that it's like very important information that is happening on the individual level, but then on the collective level, right? So it's kind of the same message for everybody, which is we have, like last week, it's like injecting more joy into this process if we can. I know it's tough sometimes, but we need to just understand, like, there's nothing more fun than creating, right? Even if you're just, oh, is my rainbow back? It is. I always love when that effect happens. Oh, and it's touching my unicorns. That's a unicorn right there. His little his little horn. Maybe he makes rainbow. I don't know. Just on whatever angles he's on. Anyway, okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Normally I would say we would get these two cards if we were in a retrograde, but I don't think we're in a retrograde of any kind. I might be totally wrong. Pluto's still in retrograde, which makes sense though, because when it comes out later this year, it goes fully into Aquarius and then it's in for a good amount of time. We got revision and reaction. Okay, so I kind of know where this is going. Um, it's also pointing us to say this week again is another RE week, just like a retrograde. So that's all, again, I've done this before and have said this before. So this is pointing us to go back to those RE words for the week. We still need a little bit of rest. We still need a bit of reprieve, retreat. So while we do want to be getting these synchronicities and epiphanies and then getting them going, allow them first. A lot of this one I'm particularly drawn to because it's about tears and reaction. So yes, these lotus flowers are always the symbol of enlightenment, right? This though is that we have a lot of trauma and pain and things to shed as these truths come out. Do not be afraid to cry. There's going to be lots of tears. We're going to have lots of tears over this next few months as all this happens. There's going to be sad tears. There's also going to be happy tears. So it's just like, don't stifle your reaction. If your immediate reaction is to burst out crying, then burst out crying. Like just talking about it is like making me get to that place. It's like, take those moments and let it out, because we've been like, it's not been good, particularly the last 5 years. It's been hard. There's a lot. The division alone has been the hardest thing for people, right? And making us fight each other. Like, it's not been pretty, and it's not our best work. We're better. We're better as humans than that, like way better. Revision for me is like, so as you have these epiphanies, that's awesome. The first steps to getting this to get going and taking the action part is we're not just going to jump and do something. Take the time to sit down and revise your plan before you march into battle. Because if you walk in there and or like, it's not even a battle necessary, right? Like, it's just like, you're not going to go give a presentation to a bunch of people about enlightenment if you haven't done your research and you have a speech to give, right? So make sure you're like refining your vision as well, right? Revise your vision. That's what I can say to you. But also feel your feelings this week. Get them out, because those are also things that aren't serving us and we don't need to take them with us, right? And also a lot of like what they've got us to do and created the division over the last few years is to really play up the victim consciousness and say, you're a victim because this happened to you, and then you have to carry this your entire life. I lost friendships over that because I was sick and tired of people not doing their own work. You can only carry people so far, and then your back is broken and you're tired and you've got your own work to do. You've got your own work to do. If you're part of that victim consciousness and you're struggling to get over it, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, don't put that out on other people or the world. That is your job to do. So maybe this week we're being asked to really look at those things and finally release them. We'll see what the cards have to say. I'm going to do one portal card because I want to see what the overall energy, just say of this week in June. We got two cards. We got the Star Being Healing Codes. I just want to say I've never got this card in my entire important information. Wounds are healing, recharging. Again, I don't know. It's like we're doing a retrograde read. Recharging. We've got to recharge our batteries. Oh my God. React, revision, recharge. Just remember those. Those are the big mantras for the week. Got the Arcturian light codes again. They're like really around. evolutionary downloads. That's what I think the dreams are too. Just so you know, like, again, I said don't interpret them too much because on a consciousness level, you already know what to do with those. Recalling power, future thinking. Yeah. So I don't know about you, but when a lot of those dreams, I am like cleaning up old uh, memories, issues, those kind of things. Um, but a lot of them are like with people I don't know, sort of in like, I don't want to say like far future, but really near future events. Like, so yeah, haven't had any off planet ones yet, but I'm sure they're coming. Anyway, the bottom line of that is like, we're just being asked to like really check in this week. And again, if at all, if you're having troubles with any piece, go back to the heart. Okay, let's look at we'll do Monday through Wednesday, Thursday kind of thing, see what's going on. I feel like this week too, there's just some more revelations coming up. I'm not sure what they are. I can just kind of feel them coming in. Um, I mean, we're just going to have a bombardment of information for the next month. June's going to be big for disclosure. Well, I said last video, Disclosure Fest is happening this month. Okay, interesting. Okay, first up for this beginning part of the week, Sees Mintonka. Seeing potential, bringing unconscious to light. Again, that's what I'm talking about, is that like a lot of this stuff we're being primed and prepped for is all the things that we forgot. It's not that we didn't know. We have this power. We've had these abilities all along. So all of this stuff, again, there's that word, coming into the light, dark to light. Um, it's great. This is good. We've been waiting for this. We still want to allow, be in a place where we allow this to easily happen. So again, make sure you're checking in with your heart and listening, seeing potential, like the potential of like when an epiphany comes in for you is like it's pointing you, and synchronicities, right? I just said that at the beginning. Synchronicities, deja vu, they point you in the direction of like what's possible, what's the potential. So really, like when those moments happen, not just like casting them aside or forgetting about them, like doing your due diligence and checking in and saying like, what does this mean, and like, is there a path I should be taking? We also got Katumi, which is initiatory experience. Your current situation is initiating your gifts. That's a fun one. That's like the shadow work. Do the shadow work. Other side of the shadow work is opens you to gives you these epiphanies, and understand the potential. So just understand that as some of it is like awful and ugly and not fun. Um, it's that it's like an initiation so that you are in full understanding of the gifts that you have intuitively, your connection to the universe, all of those things and those gifts, and then how do you go forward and use them? The other card we got is seeing, perspective, truth. We know that's coming. Knowledge this week and clarity. So I think there's a lot of light coming in to help you understand and remember who we truly are and the gifts that we truly have and what we possess. Like, like I would say in like New Earth, like we're all, telepathic, psych, like whatever words you want to use for that. Um, it's all the things that we are that were like shut down and closed off from us. So it's all starting. This we knew was coming online. We could feel this, but I think, yeah, this week is just really going to be like, it's almost like we're starting to get the instruction manual downloaded to us. It's going to come in pieces. It isn't going to come all at once because that would take all of us out, even people who've been doing this a long time. So just, it's like, it's like start almost like, I don't want to say write this down because I said that a million times, but like when you discover a new synchronicity or a gift, write it down and then And then as you start doing the work around it, how do I use this? What do I do to utilize it? Writing that stuff down. Like we literally are writing this manual of how this looks moving forward. We also got for the rest of the week, or the rest of the week, the beginning part of the week is the 12 chakras. So even if you don't know a lot about the chakras, I'm still trying to work on the chakra stuff. I still am getting thwarted by technology and the limits of my computer, but that's life. If I get it to work, it'll be great. But if I don't, that's just the way it is. This card says, follow your ascension path. I think that being said is like, this is the truth and the things that are coming to us this week about we're not just, again, we're not this little meat suit running around on the planet just going, doing this, paying taxes, and then dying. Like, that is not anything close to what we actually are. The potential here is like, is the potential of you. You are this amazing, magical, I could use like a million words. Um, just understand that like these pieces are coming in. So really start to see the truth of that stuff is also going to come out. So that helps us to make these discoveries for ourselves. Um, yeah, it's just more clarity coming this week for sure. That's the big part, I feel. All right, that's the first part of the week. Let's take a look at like Thursday to Sunday kind of thing. I'm trying to make this short again. I'm good at that. Ooh, that one. That one. Yeah, okay. So we're just like in this kind of like same place we are often, where we're just being asked to like, that's the other thing too, is like in both reads that I did over the weekend, um, it was really asking us to like to kind of like not make it so hard on ourselves. Like the reads came through and they were done. Usually it takes me an hour and I was like done pretty quick. So it's just like there was a simplicity to it where it's like, don't make this like it's kind of like this weird combination of that revision, uh, feeling our feelings, doing all that, resting, retreating, recharging. And in that, you're still doing work in there, right? That's where the tears come and that's where the writing comes and the planning and that kind of stuff. And then we're also being asked to like really like the forward next simple plan is manifestation and creation and taking all these epiphanies that we have and putting them into action. So we're not quite, we're not in that action phase yet. Although with this lineup, right, you've got Mars in there that's like influencing us to like give us energy and courage to move forward, and motivation. So use that energy this week. And again, then we've got Saturn in there too, right? Discipline and structure. For me, discipline and structure means you sit down and you do the work and like write it down. Like that's the structure. Like come up with a structure, come up with a plan. Like I said, don't just leave this up to chance and take whatever you get because we know how that works and it's not always pretty. And you get some stuff sometimes that you didn't want to deal with or that, that just like it's not annoying, but it's a little bit harder work. Like we don't want to make this work hard on ourselves, and we don't need to. We're being shown that this can be done like quite easily. Okay. So end of the week, we got the Your Life is a Canvas. This is again artist, manifestation, creative accountability. It's just like there's like the beginning part of the week is like again like I just did the two sides. This is the second side. This was revise, all the re's, get your ducks in a row, get the tears out, laugh a bit, if you cry, laugh, whatever you need to do. Start getting that stuff on its way, like wrapping it up, right? Now then moving forward and really working on the manifestation and creating, right? We've got Green Tarot, which is healing light, wellness unfolding. Know that your healing is a journey. So this is part of the thing too. Is like part of the ascension process is that we are healing on all levels, right? I think that's a lot of what's going on. The beginning of the week is like, yeah, there's just so much going on around, like, and coming up about healing our traumas. And everybody's like level of trauma is different. There's like severe trauma, and then there's just like things that cause us trauma. Like it's an interesting thing because again, it comes down to perspective, and it comes down to it just comes down to you. That's all I want to say. Your experience is yours alone, right? And it's not we're not supposed to be comparing it to someone else's. And someone else shouldn't be comparing theirs to us and saying, you haven't done this because you didn't have this much shit happen to you. That is complete and utter bullshit. We are not supposed to be comparing those two. We all have, like, my trauma might be little. I remember like going to see a shaman and like having a soul retrieval. And the weirdest part is like I had a great childhood. I did not have a bad childhood. I had a really great childhood. I had like supportive parents that like were like, you find yourself and you go do things and you try things. Like there was none of that. And I know people, not everybody had that. But he came up with this thing and he said, your soul retrieval part is like you're 2 years old. Or no, I was a little bit older, like 2 to 4. And he's like, the trauma in your head, the perceived phrase is, my world is ending. Holy crap, that's a big trauma for a 2 or 4 year old. But I had no idea what he was talking about until I went home that night and I slept. And in the morning, I woke up straight in, like, and I knew, and I could see this picture of me and my sister. She's in the hospital. And I remember that we won't go into the whole story of what happened to her, but she was in the hospital for a very long time. And um, my mom was always at the hospital, of course, taking care of her. And my dad had to still work. So I had to live with my grandparents for a few months. And I don't know. I don't remember how long it was. I'm too little to remember. Um, but but do you see how that 2 to 4 year old in their mind, their whole world had collapsed. And I took that with me. I took that, like, I replaced a part of my soul with this trauma and I carried it. And I had no idea I was carrying it. Zero. And it doesn't sound like much. And really, in perspective, my sister ended up being fine and everything was okay. And our family came back together. But at that time, when I disconnected that trauma from my soul, I thought my world was ending. So it's all about perspective. And here's the other thing I just want to like say is all of this stuff we're dealing with on our own. That's our job. It isn't our job to fix anybody else's traumas or anything like that. Do not project your shit on other people because that's not helping. And vice versa. If someone's projecting their shit on you, just honestly, at this point of the game, shut it down because we don't have time for that. We're here doing our thing. Keep doing your thing. Don't let anybody else get in the way. That's all I'm going to say about it. Because if we start, we will eventually all come together, but it's our job to heal ourselves, right? So Green Terra, so now I just went on a complete tangent there. Green Terra this week is reminding us the healing is in process. It's a journey. Don't force it, but do the work around it. Keep discovering this stuff. And so one of your epiphanies might be some trauma for your past. So instead of just like, again, shoving it under the carpet and being like, I'm not going to deal with that, do your best to deal with it. Whether you can do it on your own or you need to get help, like that's still available. There's amazing spiritual counselors out there. They are probably like super busy right now, but like get some help from somebody. Like we got to be working on this stuff. We don't have a choice. Like it's not coming, but it slows your progress down. It does. It just slows it down. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, let's see what else we got for the rest of the week. Oh, funny. We got connection, universal oneness, love, interconnection, and support. So I'm not saying like don't get help and don't it's one thing to go and ask someone to help you and then receive it, right? This is a heart chakra card. It's all about like if you need the support, you get like receive it. But like what I'm talking about is like there's a lot of people in this world that are like the martyr or whatever, and they're out there going, "Don't you project?" Anyway, they're always pointing the finger. That's all they're doing. You don't know. You didn't suffer this trauma. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. It's happening a lot, like so much out in the world right now. There's like whole fucking protests for it, like in every sector, right? Nobody's owning their own shit. Not a single person out there. They're not willing to do the work. They just want it done for them. That's not how it works. And as this energy comes in, you're not going to be given much of a choice. Like, if you haven't dealt with it, it's going to slow you down. The rest of us will be off, like, building the earth, and those people are going to take a little bit more time to get there because they've still got stuff they got to deal with. Anyway, I just on tangents today. Love and interconnection. Those opportunities are coming up to us. So it is important to still, like, I'm not saying isolate yourself and do all this work yourself. Like, you still have like minded people within your circle that are there doing the same thing. So it's like if you're doing your work, great, you and I can be friends and we can help each other out. But if you're going to come at me and dump all your crap on me, no, that's not happening anymore. You go away, you deal with your thing, and then you can come back when you're ready to kumbaya. Ready? Okay. Anyway, that's what's happening. We still have love for those people. We love them. I love you guys, but you need to go and deal with your shit. Like, we're not getting a second chance at this. Like, you do. You'll just keep repeating the misery until you figure it out. But why would you want to do that? Let's just let's just work on this and get it together and get it done. How about that? Okay. Sorry. Kind of ranting, aren't I? Got my voice back and now I'm going to use it. Well, sort of. It's sort of back. Okay. Last card for the end of the week. The Super Love Portal. Oh my God, who doesn't want to be a part of that? Accepting yourself as a cosmic being. That's the other thing too, is a lot of the victim consciousness that we have on this planet is like is a project is programmed into us, right? Not true. We're not. We are not stuck. We are not lesser than. Everybody has this energy to tap into, right? So start tapping in. Again, also, eagle in the card. Take the higher perspective. Pull back. Look out. Accept yourself as a cosmic being. Again, where do we go to? Heart. Go into the heart. Turn on your heart light. Letting it shine. See what you manifest. Sometimes it's just about putting that love energy out there, right? And see what that manifests. That's a simple and easy thing to do. If you're acting from a place of pure love and universal oneness and interconnectedness, put that in your heart and put that out. Like, that's the simplest thing we can do. And just say, like, this is where I'm operating from now on. I will accept nothing less. And you will watch those people fall away. Anyway, so yeah, okay. That's, I feel like I just got, like, I got my blood pressure up there. Probably should have done that. I'm a little bit angry. Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's see what the end of the week is like. But I just want to say on a big note, like, I feel like we're meant to also enjoy this week. um, like, just really seeing what we can create and what we can do. So yeah, that's all I can say about that. I keep I'm talking to my guides and I'm like, do you have anything else? And they're like, no, that's pretty much like, let's get her done, everybody. Let's get her done. Too funny. Okay, what do we got for the end of the week here? I think we always get this card at the end of the week too. Anyway, it's the Judgment card. Here's why I love this card though. If you look, this is all people mostly jumping for joy. For me though, it always kind of represents the judgment is Judgment Day. is like part of the ascension, right? It's like, are you a good soul or are you a bad soul? Like, do you want to atone for being a bad soul? The choice in the end is up to us, right? Like, you can bend the knee and you can atone for if you haven't been a good person. But this choice is still yours. So there's some souls on this planet that are like, nope, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm not cowing down to you. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to them. Although I do know that that low energy just isn't going to resonate in the new. So again, it's all a choice. Anyway, I awaken to the timelessness of body, spirit, and soul. All illusions are shattered. All I want to say about this card is, so this, because it's coming as like, what's the full week about? What's the end of the week like by the time we get there? Is that we're heading into a judgment period. And that's not like you're not going to make it or whatever. Like it's either this or that. It's just understanding that we are timeless in this space and time, body, spirit, and soul. Um, in order for us to realize all these things too, this illusion has to be shattered about and the lies. So it's just a confirmation that actually this week a lot of that is happening. There's a lot of like judgment, like literal like court-based judgment going on all over the place, like all over the world, not just America. Anyway, so it just understand that this is part of the how we reveal the truth, and we need to know these things. It is part of the ascension process. It's not always pretty to look at, but it's got to be done. So just understand this week. Um, yeah, I mean the question is starting to come in. Are you a good soul or a bad soul? I mean, I know that good or bad isn't really the right words, and there's better words, but I'm running out of time. that's what I want to say about that. All right, end of the week. Yeah, okay. Ready but waiting. This is also my favorite card because she's holding the peace dove at heart center. So a lot of us are. We've been doing this work a long time. You may not have any of that stuff to do that I talked about early in the week. You may be feeling like you're in an okay place and that you're just ready to like, I'm ready. Let's get this done. Let's get her done. I've cleared my stuff. And that's awesome. I mean, I always think I've cleared my stuff and then something will come up, but just deal with it. But just know we're just ready and waiting. We're just to release that peace stuff. And again, back to the heart. So, we had quite a few heart connection cards in here this week, so make sure you're doing that work. Clicking back into the heart, listening to your heart. It's full of wisdom and all the ancient knowing of all the stuff that's been suppressed. But that's the other thing too, is like it's part of the discernment process as well. Because when some of the stuff comes out and you're like, I don't know how I feel about that. Instead of going up here and thinking about it, we don't. We instantly take it into the heart and ask the heart and see what resonates. That's the easiest way to do it. We got the emerald tablet activation as well. Cosmic ordering, divine alchemy, conscious manifesting. Again, end of the week, lots of manifesting. The cosmic order and the divine alchemy thing are like those are natural skills and birthright to us. But it's nothing we have to tap into, they're saying. It's just like purely simple. We have to understand that those things are being done behind the scenes for us, and we don't have to worry about those things. Our job is conscious manifesting. So that is definitely the one we need to be focusing on. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to do 3 Christ consciousness because that's also part of this energy that's coming in. Again, this week it would not surprise me if there wasn't not just more flares, but like probably like those auroras again coming on strong. Okay. Okay. First up, which way does this go? We got the wisdom bringer, which is Earth School. This is where we are. Wisdom. We've mentioned that word before. Again, back to the heart. To return to the wisdom of the heart. We got gentleness. Respond softly. This particularly is about you, yourself. Respond softly to yourself. I'm guilty of this so bad right now, of being like really hard on myself. Um, yeah, just, just be softer with yourself. We're doing it. It's okay. We already met. And actually, here's the last card to finish it off. The teacher, Jesus. Walk the talk. Be in tune with nature. Be teaching others, helping others, showing others love. That's the greatest thing we can do. That's the greatest thing we can do. All right, I'm going to leave it there for today. I'll be back later this week to do a moon and a portal reading for the month of June, or an energy reading for the month of June. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Do the good work. Do your good work in the world. And if you're not sure what it is, find what that good work is. All right. I love you guys. Take care. Have a good week.